Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will be discussing child development and the influence it has on children's theatre and education and vice versa. Let's have a look at our presentation. Good, like we said, the topic is child development influence on children's theatre, education, and vice versa. So let's have a look at where it all started. It says here how children's theatre evolved through the years. Obviously, children's theatre was first and foremost seen as a form of entertainment, but recent studies have shown us that it has evolved into means of, helping a child develop, moral factors. And one of the first, performance styles that we can have a look at was known as the Punch and Judy puppet shows. We all know a puppet show. We all have seen, sock puppets or any show of that kind. Children has the ability to connect, a positive connection with a certain character and a negative connotation with a bad character. So that kind of, teaches a child, moral values. They say which is the good guy and the bad guy, and typically in the Punch and Judy puppet shows, Punch was the boy or the man, normally doing something naughty and mischievous again towards Judy. So then children will boo Punch as they then see Punch as being the bad guy, and then children can see that that is not the way that they should act. There's a good example of the Punch and Judy puppet shows, since the beginning and to today. It's still very popular, and I've done a few puppet shows through my career, and it has really helped deliver messages like do not bite, and don't steal your friends' toys, and how to share, how to wash your hands, and even now during COVID, it helps children to understand very vital and important messages. Okay, now a second very early form of children's theatre, also very, very still reliable to use today, is pantomime. A pantomime is normally, like you will find today, you will call it a musical. So it's like a historical musical version. Performers express meaning through gestures, accompanied by music. So there's over-the-top gestures that is comical in a way, which children enjoy. It's normally you see it around Christmas because it is designed for family entertainment. Examples that you will know of is, the Nutcracker, very famous that time of year. And then again, audience participation is, a key aspect of this form of entertainment because, children, as well as with the puppet shows, they get to determine which characters are the bad characters and which are the good characters. Like in the Nutcracker, where they would often stand up and yell at, the rat for being, evil, or, they will boo him on stage. That is how children kind of learn their moral values, is through observing these characters and, getting an understanding of what is acceptable in society and what is not. These are some examples of some of the earlier stages of the pantomime posters, as you can see. And then a very modern version of pantomime is that, South African version of Cinderella. It was quite enjoyable. I saw it. It was in Joburg where it played off. Also so successful that it was in Cape Town as well. Children get to interact with the characters, you know, the ugly stepsisters, which was very comical and, as you can see, over the top, and yeah, lots of fun for children. TIE. You can have a read through this. Basically, TIE is theatre in education. Now, this is the base of what I am trying to convince you as a reader, as a listener, that theatre in the classroom is exceptionally important and vital for a child's development, because not only does it, you know, stimulate a child in so many ways, you know, it activates their creative thinking, you know, social development. It encourages a child to, you know, get out of its shell, perhaps, you know, not just for extroverts, but for introverts. There's always a place on stage, either being on stage yourself or even, you know, doing behind the screen work, you know, painting, set design, you know, the writing. There's so many opportunities to integrate every child's personality, so they will feel included into theatre. You know, and then also TIE tries to make theatre about real life issues. So perhaps when you see you know, children in school perform, or they see a play maybe about, you know, drugs and the effect it has on young adults, and this is the statistics, they get a bigger picture from observing this, and in that way, by enjoying the performance, they then learn vital information. Musical theatre. Now, this is moving away from the pantomime. This is a bit more what you all know about today. Children enjoy musical theatre. Why? Because it is big, it's over the top, it's bright colors, it's theatrical, it is songs and rhythms and, you know, everything a child likes. It stimulates the child's brain. They have a fun time interacting with characters. And normally in theatre, they break the fourth wall and children can engage and sing along and dance along and move. And yeah, it's just very entertaining for a child. Okay, musical therapy. Music therapy was intended for the benefit of medical and health treatment. So that's how it started. But then, you know, we found out that it has an educational purpose as well. It's, you know, it's not just entertaining. It's just not for medical and health, you know, related problems, but it really helps educate children in a fun way. You know, it helps their memory, you know, getting to learn a nursery rhyme or a song like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and the movements that go with it. It helps a child's memory, and yeah, it really allows the brain to grow as well. And then it also has a profound effect on their sleep. You know, like mothers, they always tend to do a lullaby for a child because this is calming to them, and they will then fall asleep easier. You know, you can have a read from everything about this. Of course, as a child also grows, you know, musical therapy or educational values that don't stop when a child is at a certain age. It only continues and grows and evolves. You know, older children will enjoy popular music more, and they will start to develop their own style, which they enjoy. And also this provokes a certain reaction, certain feeling and emotion. And that is quite essential to what musical theatre does. It is there to provoke a certain feeling And that is why it is so important for children's education. Language and culture, this is a long one, but what we want to discuss is that, especially in today's society, we are, especially in our Rainbow Nation, you know, we get to do with different cultures, different languages. And this is so important to start a child as early as possible, you know, trying to show them that there are different races, different cultures, because they are still young and it's easier for their minds to still absorb all that information. Because they always say a child's mind is like a sponge, they absorb easier and quicker than when they are older or our age. This is when a child can maybe perhaps start to learn a few words in a different language. You know, the therapist has said, like, it's very important for a child to at least know a little or have an understanding of 2 languages. And then, of course, for children to learn about another culture is, of course, always beneficial. And then the last very fun part is, of course, the visual components. Now, when you go to theater, the core factors of visual components, you can just think for yourself, what do you do with your eyes? You know, it's a sight. You see colors and you see shapes and you see lightning and you see props and you see the set design, and it's all very colorful. It is all made to stimulate a child's mind and to keep them entertained and to grab their attention. Children, you know, tend to, you know, have a short attention span. So you want to have the intention all the time. This is now a scene of Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter scene, the Tea Party. And as you can see, the big costumes, the big makeup, and the fun chairs, and of course, the extravagant background. All of this is to make it more enjoyable on the eye for the children. You know, and then also it helps a child to make this connection. They refer to it as color therapy or color recognition, where you see things like, you know, green is nature, yellow connotation with sunny, bright, happy, you know, blue, the ocean, also very calming, black, maybe somber. So this is like starting to give a child that kind of notion. And then, of course, we have our resources. And I hope you enjoy this topic. I always do. Have a good day.